Hello and welcome to episode 22 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough in cycle 32, day 8. Last time we fixed some stuff and didn't fix some stuff because we were too busy fixing other stuff. Well, today we're going to fix some stuff that wasn't fixed because we were busy fixing other stuff. Specifically, I really would like to get this bad water rig operating, connected to a zipline station, and kind of bolster our production of bad water because, as you can see, we don't really have a whole lot. And I think we're going to want to have more of that as we continue getting further and further into getting bots going for the rest of the playthrough, because we have the option of using all sorts of fun things, crops and liquids alike, to increase the effectiveness of our bots, and also some stuff for the beavers as well, because we haven't even gotten into some of the stuff like detailers, which of course require, well, I mean, not a lot, but, you know, if you have 100-something beavers and they're doing this every couple days, then, you know, it does add up. And there's all sorts of other fun stuff that we can get into that we haven't even discussed yet. But, again, like I said today, I'd like to get into getting this set up, a couple of fixes in this area, just small improvements. We need to be making more power with our windmills as well. And then a bunch of you guys would like to see the zip lines reorganized, which definitely needs to happen. And I think we can do something. Maybe not, you know, everything we want to do, but we can do something in that vein as we continue moving along through here. Let's also not forget that we do have our eventual goal of getting all of this castle, wall, ruins, whatever, rebuilt, and doing something interesting in here. But we're going to go ahead and get this in triple speed. And I think before we do anything else with this central farm area, we should take a look at how things are progressing here. We haven't really talked about it too much. But most of our stuff is completely full on storage with the exception of the maple pastries. But those have improved because we built this little complex here. And I know, oh, there's a few of you who are real upset about this not being connected on the ground. Well, now it is. Even if it's not perfect, it's not going to necessarily stay like this. It is, in fact, connected, and now the beavers can actually go back and forth and do what they've got to do, so on and so forth, etc. You know the drill. But we have a 24-day drought now. We fortunately have a mostly full reservoir here. We've got a decent bit of water here, and of course we have 9,300 stored for the beavers to drink. So I think we're doing pretty well. Now we can kind of get into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to be working on today, which is getting, like I said, all this stuff taken care of. We have natural overhangs here that we could either leave in place or we could remove and replace with some other stuff. I think I would like to leave these in place, but, you know, there's only so much you can fit on top of this stuff before you have to add other supports to it, and we might get to that point sooner rather than later. Take a look at the size of the zipline station. Like, this will fit just directly, to quote some of you in the comments, kissing this, which, you know, if it's connected to the zipline station, that's really not such a bad thing, because we can just put another one somewhere else and have these just directly connected. But for that to work right, we're going to have to be pretty careful about how these things are situated. I'm not opposed to doing this. I would just be a little bit concerned about, you know, having access to, say, tanks for storage of the bad water and then whatever else we're going to be doing with this. But since it is connected directly to the zipline, or it would be connected directly to the zipline if we did that, then it probably doesn't really matter so long as the beavers or the bots or whoever's doing the hauling can get where they want to go. And see, like right here, we have these kind of crossing over. Remember that this is all just a big kind of weird loop thing that isn't connected on this end. But we have an opportunity to really make this look a whole lot nicer. And if you recall, earlier in the playthrough, we did talk about putting around the outside, as our favorite saying, or one of our favorite sayings. We have a lot of favorite sayings, but I think that would be a nice thing to kind of cap things off. But we do have an opportunity before we start building that stuff to just completely encase this entire thing with some dirt here. Even though the castle walls were, I think if I'm interpreting the map correctly, basically only ever here. But this area over here only has to discharge bad water in a certain amount of space. And I think we can probably get by with just putting this, maybe even just straight out the edge of the map here. Not entirely sure. But if we take a look at how much would be coming out of these things, it is a drought, so there's no more water wheels for the time being. Peel this back. Each of these are 3 each. Each of these are 3 each. Wow, that's fantastic. Of course, that's 6 combined, and then we do have overflow that comes through here if this is full. So in a a normal situation, 6 strength would be totally fine, going off of 3 of these, and this is 3 wide. But we do have to account for having all this overflow here. So if we were going to come out this way, then I would say it probably has to be 4 or 5, just to be safe. But now that we know we have the opportunity to just have this go straight out here, then I think that would be an interesting thing to try and work out. But enough about that. I did say that we were going to try and get a whole bunch of stuff accomplished, and then I have somehow managed to achieve none of that to this point. So let's go ahead. We do have to be able to build the zipline station, unfortunately. So we do have to send the beavers up over the top of this nonsense, and that obviously is not going to be a terribly quick process. But they can get that taken care of. We're going to remove this blockage, and then, yes, I do think I'm just going to have this directly mated to the doorway of the bad water rig, and then we can put tanks somewhere else. We could have, I guess, a branch line, if you want to call it. We don't need to have this here anymore. This is just here because something was here. But as we, go around building the rest of our walls and reconstructing stuff, it's going to be nice to have these in place, so there's really no reason to get rid of this. But I am going to disconnect this bit from this bit. We'll just leave these stations in place here. And I think what's going to make sense is to try to connect this zipline station to right here, and then connect this to... Well, actually, you know what? There's really no benefit to taking this away from this station, because they can just walk out and get into this one. See, this is why it takes me a long time to try and do this stuff in real time, because I constantly have to think about what might happen if I do scenario X, Y, Z, and you know how long that takes. So we're gonna have to come back to that when they finish. Oh, never mind. They finished it. All right. Well, here you go. Zipline station connected, nice and easy. I think, obviously, I can't connect here because there's too many connections, but that would be the easiest way, I think, for us to take care of this connection here. And then, will this reach? No, it says too many connections. I don't. It's not saying it can't go through the terrain. It just says too many connections. But I'm very curious to see if I were to remove this one, if it's still going to say, because that's rock, that's terrain. You can't. I don't know. Maybe you can, but I don't think I could pass through a cliff face unscathed. If you can, then that's a very interesting ability you've got there. I think the Avengers might be interested, but I digress. We got to get this hooked up to something else. So let's go ahead, since we kind of know this isn't really that big of a deal here. Let's disconnect this. Of course, they haven't finished it yet, but this will give me an idea. Okay, well now it says it's obstructed. All right, so no Avenger beavers, no phasing through walls or whatever. So we are going to have to hook this up to... Oh, nope, it's too steep. It's too steep. Well, if that's the case, then why don't we go ahead and just get rid of that entirely, and then we can move this up, at least for right now. We can move it up to the top of here, or exciting option behind door number 3, we've got these beams we can pop in somewhere. And obviously we can't build this because it's super high up, but we do have options. You know, if we want to do things that are a little bit interesting in some ways, then we can make that happen. I do think, yeah, this is too close. That's definitely too close. I can put this on top here, and it's going to be a little ugly, but it will work, and it will be in the correct range of heights here. That's pretty steep, though, honestly. This says 39 degrees or something. So without really having access to much of anything else, I think this is just, for right now, going to have to be what it's going to be. So let's get that hooked back up to here, just so it can be accessed, and then obviously the bad water rig can be turned on, which is really helpful in a super long drought because we are out of bad water. So let's do that. We got 5 beavers in here, hopefully actually able to operate this. I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be able to, but we'll see here in a second. Well, a second meaning the following day from where we are now, if these guys can take care of that. And then while they're working on this, so we can continue making extract and continue the process of everything we're doing, then we can try to think about what kind of ways we might want to enhance our zipline structure here. All right, so here they go. They're actually working. Cool. I am so glad this lets me exploit this system like this. It's honestly kind of dumb, but well, you know, that's the way it goes. So that is kind of neat and tidy, right in the little bit of the cliff face there. I kind of like that. That's cool. Next thing, or one of the next things we need to take care of is our zipline station here. Now, I don't really like this going back and forth and all the way across here. It would be much cleaner for this to just go straight the way down here and then have some sort of branch line or whatever connected into the center of this. Now, I'm not saying this station has to go away. I'm just saying the routing is not really ideal. So what might make sense, this is going to be hard to expand just because of how this has been set up. But you know what? Maybe not necessarily, because this is another ladder here. Humor me for a second, I say to my captive audience that has absolutely no way to decline, except for, you know, hitting the X on the whatever you call it, YouTube. Actually, I thought that would work. I really thought that would work. I guess not. What if I'm trying the hamsters are trying their best. Even if their best isn't very good, we still love and care about them anyway. We're gonna go ahead and try this. If I put in a zipline station here, no, that doesn't look terrible, and it's still accessible pretty easily. What I would do in this situation is remember that this is currently in the way. The district center is in the way. This guy doesn't have to stay in this exact spot. Doesn't have to stay like that. So we know we wanted to create kind of like a hub thing somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what I want that to look like. But what I can tell you is I really hope that this will connect here. Oh, man. Oh, come on, man. Okay, so new idea. New idea. Look, oh, come on. If we got rid of this, and then instead of this here, what if I... Oh, come on. Batting 1,000 today. What if I did that, and then... Oh, see, now this is going to be a... This is going to be an absolute just disaster mode here. It's going to be so ugly. If I rotated that way, is that now going to have... Wow, would you look at that? Would you look at that? That's so convenient, so easy. So easy. Is it the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Nope. But that's okay. This now says too many connections, but I'm pretty sure this is still going to block because you have the top of the district center here. So for that to work, we would have to have a pylon taller than that and have this come down. I don't really like that. Or I could just, you know, raise this zipline station and then take this out. Now remember, I'm still trying to get this hooked up here, and this hasn't been built yet. And yeah, I think it's just going to make the most sense to come in this way. Unless Unless, what if, I know we're we're really pushing the limits of believability here. What if I put something here facing this way that then connected to here? They would have to dismount the zipline to get onto this, but I think it would be a whole lot better than having every beaver, go all the way through here. It's like the express train. But they do still have to build this, and honestly, this is kind of a little bit ugly, but what can you do? Let's just get this reconnected so our beavers can actually, use the zip lines. But I think that might be what we want to go for, at least for right now, while we're trying to figure out other solutions. Make this a little bit less stupid looking. But the other, advantage to that is I could have not just this station hooked up. We could expand that to go this way. We could put some sort of something else over here. We could have a second zipline connecting directly to this, because that is kind of out of the way. There's a bunch of different options. We have so many different things we can try here. Remember, we're attempting to improve things. For better or for worse. You know how it goes. But we also are going to need to have more windmills when we actually, can use them. What is this that's paused? Okay, it's a lumberjack flag. There's no trees here, and there will never be trees here. So, goodbye to that. I don't know why I just remembered that. Gravity batteries seem to be doing okay. I'd like to have more, but they need a little bit more land here. And remember, we have 500 dirt. We did remove all of our dirt excavators, but we're going to need more, especially when we get around to putting in the wall everywhere. So, we need to find a new location from which to excavate that is also going to be kind of convenient for our beavers to get to. And I hate to say let's just run it back and keep excavating this out, but let's go ahead, run it back, and keep excavating all this stuff. Because we wanted to make this bigger anyway. I guess I kind of made a mistake in getting rid of this stuff too early. Because we're going to start using a whole lot of dirt, and that's not going to be real easy to deal with if we don't have everything else taken care of. All right, let's see. Nobody out. I gotta wait for these beavers to get off of this thing, man. All right, nobody's on this segment. That means, oh, okay. Well, this one's gonna be in for a rude awakening. Oh, it's a bot. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Just kind of teleports to the next station. All right. My spacebar is probably worn out at this point. This needs to connect. Oh, what? It's 1 meter too far. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. 1 meter? A single lousy meter too far? Man, what? Why? Why are you the way that you are? I guess I could do this, but oh, that's ugly. That's so ugly. Oh, and then also we're going to have mid-air collisions here. Not to be that guy that just complains about stuff, but man, I miss tube-ways. this would be so much easier with the tube-way. I get it. The folktales are supposed to be more agrarian, fun-oriented. Well, I don't know, agrarian society might not be described as fun. Anyone who actually knows anything about how that works, but compared to the Iron Teeth, they seem to be designed, at least, to be more of a laid-back, less stress society. Well, when you only have so many connections you can make on zipline stations, and I don't know, whatever beaver's responsible for figuring this out, I guarantee you is not having a good time. Unfortunately, that does mean that I'm going to have to either get this out of the center, which I think would be a mistake, or I have to get rid of this. So, see, I didn't want to build it on top of the medium warehouses because what if I needed to add something on top? But now I can see that we have severe problems with spatial awareness, as one does. I guess I'm just going to have to put this here. Just going to have to put it there. So that's going to get connected to that. And then I guess I've got to... I guess I've got to just... No, wait a second. Okay, now why would I do... Okay. This makes my brain hurt. Well, they can use this at least, and then this one goes that way and connects to this, so I guess now it's a super horribly, badly optimized setup here. But now I'm very curious, because, like, I need to redo this at some point, but I don't know enough. I don't know what I don't know. And I think if I were to... I think if I were to try to get this to connect here, obviously it says too many connections, but the building turns red, so we know that's not tall enough. If I, and of course they built that, this is why I always pause when I do this. If I put this in place, now it's not red, which means I could theoretically do that. And I could also definitely connect that way, but now the problem is they can't build this because they can't reach it. So... let's, I guess just put 2 of those up, and then we'll get this hooked all the way up there. At least, you know, at least this is functional right now, but, not for long. That's gone, which means this is going to get connected to here, and then that should get everything else connected. All right, well, this has worked. Kind of. I think. Maybe. You can never be too sure these days. But I'm going to count this technically as an improvement. You know, also we kind of have to be able to get up here, which is going to require a ladder. So let's just pretend that wasn't a problem. But the main thing I wanted to do is I wanted to avoid these beavers having to make a stop at the farm the whole time. So they'll just go all the way through like this. And then these guys can come in through here. And then if we want, we can also have this come across, like I was saying, over to this way. This guy right now really doesn't serve that much of a purpose unless, I guess these guys were in this exact spot. We're trying to get up here, which I don't think there's much of a reason to do that anymore. So, you know, maybe we want to keep this as an option open for later, because this zipline station, we don't have anything over here to connect, but if we were to build some housing down in this hole, or our original idea of putting stuff here, which, by the way, we could definitely do without too much suffering. I don't think there's any of these buildings besides the Agora that have to actually go on the ground. So if we wanted to take a look at blasting holes down here, we haven't unlocked the Agora, and I know this does consume the extract. But it's a 5x5 building, and I think we could put in, you know, just 2 of these guys right here on the bottom level, blast it down a couple tiles, and then put stuff right on top of them to put in housing and all sorts of other fun stuff. I did say we're going to get to that next episode, and I haven't done it yet. All right, well, this is good. It's not permanent like this, but it is good. Let's go ahead and see. It looks like I can go 2 down. Let's just double check. Okay. Yeah, we'll go 5x5 down 2. Just here and here because we can. This doesn't have to have water in it anymore because, you know, we're not growing any trees. And this should still stay pretty irrigated for most of this, and we do have water coming in this way. I really don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but I'm not going to get rid of this until I need to get rid of it, you know? No reason to overcomplicate things. But if I go ahead and I blast this out, I can't blast underneath this thing because of the way the ladder is set up, unfortunately. Now, if we just get this whole thing out of here, I can put 2 Agoras facing this middle thing, and then I can have a path coming in that way, and then we, of course, will put stuff on top of it. And then we can do lodging and all sorts of fun stuff like that and start to do, maybe not finish it, but start to do some sort of progress here so we can say, hey, we actually accomplished something. And this whole time I have been keeping tabs on our production of maple pastries, which does seem to be improving. I'd be much happier if this was maxed out at 1200, but I don't think it's going to be that quick of a process. We've got 2 of these guys working on it. And, oh, they're not prioritized by haulers. Let's go ahead and do that to make that possible there. We do have extra beavers. We got a lot of extra bots. We got a lot of extra bots. Let's actually take a timeout here. Well, I'm not going to pause the game because I want them to keep putting stuff down. But we need to start putting more and more of these jobs as bots. I think... Oh, we haven't done the gears. Okay. That's an easy one. That is a very easy one to do. Get those gear workshops converted over. And then that's going to really help us out. Not that we need to have a whole lot more gears, but fortunately the storage is just about full. These printing presses have been turned off. Let's turn those back on. And now that uses up all of our bots, and we have 23 extra beavers. So we know we can do more haulers, but I already have 20, 30-ish, maybe. So that's probably okay. This is ready to go. That's going to irritate me, but we're just going to ignore it and move on. All right, Agora here, Agora there. Get that popped in there. If I wanted to be a little creative with this, you know, there's really no reason not to, actually. We could just go ahead and put in that, and I can use the stairs. We don't really talk a whole lot about using stairs for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, that doesn't look too bad. And if we want to get over the top of this thing, I guess I'm going to have to go up one more. I know these insert your own word there are going to build this if I don't pause the game. So this is what we're looking at. To bridge over the top of the Agoras, we need to have 2. So, I know I keep saying this. We have some options here. We can choose to integrate housing into the outside or build on top. If we did this, if we did it this way, we could put I'll just go ahead and unlock a triple lodge here. I could put a double lodge next to it, and that gives us housing for, what is this, 6 and 9, 15 right there. We can obviously do the same thing on the other side, or maybe not. We don't necessarily have to. But if we did that there, then we could, depending on how we want to set this up, come in behind here just for the sake of argument. Leave this open so that we can actually get through the pathway here. And then, with our 6x1 overhangs, completely cover this entire thing here. Make like a little intermediary level. And then around the front side, not the outside. Well, technically also around the outside. We can put in either the double lodges, or we have these little cute mini lodges that we could possibly mess with. Or we leave it open, and we put some decorative stuff. But what I'm trying to get at is if I flip that, pop that, assume this is 15 here, 15 here, 15 here, 15 here. This alone would be space for 60 beavers, which we currently have 147. Yeah, long term we probably don't need to have a ton. But if we were to do this, then we have all of this space up here for additional well-being stuff. Now, not Agoras, because those do require ground. But we could put in carousels, which run on power. That is already right here. That could be on the level above whatever else is here. But we have dance halls that are 5x5. We could very easily just pop in right like here because, you know, we already have this ladder in place. That actually doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of surprised. It almost looks like that's supposed to look like that. But if we did that, then we, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this, honestly. Come in like this, and then we've got space here. We can put in, you know, the frog statues. Everybody loves a frog statue, and if you don't, you're wrong. Mud pit, we have space right here. Depending on how we want to do the rest of this, we could definitely put in, say, one of these guys here, one of these guys here. That does have to be stocked with dirt, but again, that is an option. And then we have, well, the Lido obviously wouldn't work there. But I think, you know what? Enough waffling. Let's just go ahead and say You get a contemplation spot. You get a contemplation spot. Everybody gets a contemplation spot. And then this would be a prime location for some ladders to go right the way across here. And then I've got space here as well. You know, we're not going to cover every single house with all of this stuff, but you do enough of it. You do enough of it, and you might make an actual pretty substantial impact here. I like the idea of putting in beaver statue in a place where everybody can have access to it. So if you do, this is going to take so long to get built. But that guy, this guy's going to cover 30 beavers worth of housing right here. And of course we can put them on the outside as well. Plenty of opportunity there. We also have these roofing pieces that are pretty easy to get into. I made a discovery. I built these the wrong way around, and if I just turn them 180 degrees, they'll have access through this little catwalk here. Alright, well, that is, that's a game-changing revelation right there. Let's just go ahead. Thank you, email client. I did say, I think a couple of episodes ago, that I thought it would be really fun to replace the sounds for those with like something from Timberborn, so I think I'm got to go pay attention to something, then I don't, and that would be funny. But now I feel like that would just be gaslighting myself, and that's not really a good thing to be doing. Not really a good thing to be doing. But we'll go ahead and get that connected pathwise all the way down. Super easy, super efficient, and it doesn't really look that bad, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So we have that right there. I want to put in a little bit more here. Why do I still have the game paused? I guess I'm afraid of them actually building this by accident. We do have to get in here. We have the opportunity to put in additional platforms probably pretty easily. Right here, put in ladder there, put in this, nice and simple. Of course, we can continue bringing this around this way and then out the front here, which is what we should have been doing the whole time. But I think 43, we have 4,000 wood. I'm not going to worry about this. Just get these trees out of here, and then I am going to let them start building this. But hopefully you can kind of see the vision I've got here, and that it's not, you know, complete insanity. But putting this roofing piece here is still going to cover all of these. And I think... Oh, yes. Oh, it's glorious. If I put a farmer monument here and a farmer monument here, then that's going to cover all these. Look how ridiculous this is. I guess I don't have to do this. I don't have to do it this way. But I think, friends, this heralds the arrival of a time-lapse where we can watch these beavers build some of this magnificence here. And we'll let them take care of that. We'll see how long it takes. We'll see what they can get up to. And then we will have to, I guess, carefully manage our population so we don't have an incredible, huge beaver explosion. But I'm excited to see this take shape, and we'll talk after the time-lapse. Okay, so you can see our thing of beauty is basically complete here. At least what we've placed down so far. And there's a couple more things I do need to address with this. Because we talked a lot about, or I guess I shouldn't say a lot, but we've talked different times, different places about what we would want to do for an ideal housing complex. And our friend Davy, regular commenter Beard Booster, had a really nice idea that I haven't really duplicated too well here. But I do still want to incorporate some of the other stuff that was mentioned there. The gist of what the original suggestion was to create villas with the help of the double lodges kind of sunken into the ground, then having different recreational things around the area with some nice decoration, shrubs, and then most importantly some lidos. So I was thinking to myself while I'm watching them build this during this time lapse, we already have this area that has a water dump attached to it. Why don't we just put lidos in that? We can kind of do something similar on the other side here, because we do still have to use this side here. I did leave that blank intentionally. Let's make sure I can match that up. I want to make sure that this looks nice and uniform, as my eternal curse always is. But I figured you know, we have this access here. This is already in a pretty good spot. Remember, the Lidos are, if I can remember what it looks like, they are 4 blocks wide, and they need this little bit of depth here. So if I were to put right here in the very corner, I could then also, right next to it, if I get rid of this a little bit, I could put one here, and I could put one here, and then we already have the fluid dump, and that would be enough for 7 each. So 14 beavers on this side, and if I did it on this side too, would be another 14. So 28 beavers could have all sorts of fun, and it would line up pretty nicely with the outer bounds here. We already know that that's going to be something we can work on, so I think I want to do that. I think that would be tremendous, very good fun. It only has to be 1 block deep, and it does have to have the little ledge here, so let's not forget. Just go, that's 4, that's 8. That will allow us, again, to put this in just like so. And we will, of course, have to modify this just a touch. But this is just about empty. I'm going to let him grab the last couple logs out of there, and then we can move on to what we were going to do in the first place. Just, it takes him a while to get this stuff done, so I'm a little bit impatient when it comes to stuff like this. I think we might be able to get this a little bit sooner, and we're going to have, like how this was set up. One little thing popped in here, although it doesn't have to be here. It could actually... yeah, I want it to line up with the path, so I guess I have that blocked there. That gets blown up, and then we just go ahead and unlock this. And we can flip these for your information, so we could have our chairs at the outside and have those 2 things right in the middle, nicely lined up. Super convenient. Very easy. And that puts this doorway, well, it's not really a doorway, but that puts that perfectly in line. Look at this. Look at that. Nice, easy, ready to go. And that is going to keep those nice and full at all times, and then that is going to just easily connect there, which if we wanted to, we could have this go all the way across, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I want to do some landscaping. Alright, that's ready to go. That's finished. Remember that this has to be a walkway, which is going to mean that this has to be filled in. But fortunately, we have plenty of dirt with which to work, and I actually can't get up here yet, but this is, for the sake of what we are attempting to do, going to have to be exploded. Just bring that down all the way. Shouldn't be that big of a deal at all. And I guess I'll do this bit as well. But hopefully you can see the vision that we're attempting to work with here. I think that's going to be fun. And there is one last thing. Okay, first of all, we need to get rid of these lumberjack flags. There's one last thing I had an idea about with this. We talked about the carousels, how they need power. I just had the wacky and crazy idea of what if we put another level on top of this with the... This is gonna look absolutely ridiculous. The carousel can have 12 visitors, and it is very conveniently sized as a 5x5 object with a 3x3 base. So we have the opportunity to do a funny here, as long as I gotta pause this. As long as this can clear, if I can get this to go. Honestly, that's probably about as good as we're going to get, but I do want to try it with 1. See if that's good. No, okay. All right. So if I do that and I do that, then on top of that, I can put in this guy. But you might be saying, that's ugly because it has extra space around the base, and you would be correct. That's why there's a 3x3 platform. And all we got to do... This is so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. All we got to do is put this guy in any orientation we choose. Remember, we have options to put a little entrance up here. Just like, look how ridiculous this is. Look how completely stupid this is. I love it to death. Let's just put that there so they have a nice, nice easy access to it. And then it has to be powered, which for our purposes here might cause a little bit of trouble with how this is oriented and how we have our path and stuff set up. But I think I've been trying to avoid raising. I guess I could raise it one more. I guess I could do that. Why on earth are you paused right now? Very good question. I myself do not know. But this is going to very easily get replaced with a 2x1 overhang. That's going to get replaced with that again, and that's going to go there, and that's going to go... Oh, come on, autosave. That's going to go there. It's going to power everything. Hopefully that can be reached. I might have to have that built last. But... oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, that's how you know you're in trouble. That's how you know you're in trouble. What is all this? Gears? I got... oh, I guess we do have to have the gears removed. But what I'm trying to do is get this situated the way it's supposed to be situated. Is that going to match? It is. Okay. So that'll go there. We're going to have this going to have to get removed in favor of... well, I guess they're grabbing... no, they're not grabbing the gears. No gears are being grabbed. What a disappointment. Let's go ahead and... yeah, okay. Go ahead and put that in place there. This does have to be popped in there. Get our path all the way across. And then, how do I have... I don't have that going into the corner. Yeah, this has to have the path across this way. Where's the ladder? I guess I could have put the ladder over here. Well, that just gives me an excuse to put a ladder at the very end and connect the path. There, problem solved. I don't know why I was so uncertain about that. Do one more here. Very easy, simple process there. Oh man, this is so cool. I mean, objectively it's not, but... I mean, anytime you can open the game and then, you know, laugh like a 5-year-old at some sort of nonsense, ugly thing you made, I think that's a recipe for success right there. So, we'll go ahead and get this operating. Man, this is just so ridiculous. I can't believe it, man. Oh, it's so ugly. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. We also have the opportunity... it's too bad this doesn't quite line up perfectly here. But I do think we're going to want to get these guys connected. This forester does not have to be here. This irrigation thing probably also doesn't have to be here, but it already is, so not really that much of a reason not to be. I want to have access to this tower here a little bit better. Well, the thing to do right now is just to, you know, connect that. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The song is back. Isn't that just a thing born straight out of nightmares? Well, after seeing the water beavers thing, I don't think anything's going to top that for a long time. But man, I am unreasonably excited by this. I do have to apologize. But let's, before we get too comfy here, I want to see if the contemplation spot... See, I never remember if it lets me do this. Okay, it does not. It does not let me do that. But it does let me do that. And what that allows me to do is put a little roofing piece on top of here. And then I can put a lantern if we feel like that's going to be worth doing there. I probably don't need to. But, ooh, we could do a shrubbery. Or I could just do a 1 by 1 and just, you know, call it a day. I think we could probably, you know, solve that problem by also putting one here. So let's make something that is not completely stupid. And by not completely stupid, I mean definitely stupid, but in a fun way. Put that there. Put in a contemplation spot there, and then put our other shrubbery. This one, however, will not be slightly higher with a path for whatever the quote is from that episode. It's a movie, Monty Python, Holy Grail. But that right there is, you know, better than a kick in the pants. Well, I don't know. Your opinions on that may vary. But I need to stop while I'm behind. And we're just going to send these guys up here and have them take care of putting this dynamite in. I am really liking how this is coming together. I think this is, I mean, again, not the best thing we've ever done, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We obviously still have plenty of other stuff to do, like put in different decorations and shrubberies, hedges, all that kind of good stuff. And I did say that we could maybe put monuments on here, but we got the, yeah, see, this wasn't going to hit everything at the same time anyway. This is only 2 by 2. Okay, we can think about that maybe a little bit later, but I think we're having a fun time here. look how like perfect it is. Look how perfect it is. I love it with my entire heart. Let's get rid of all of these tree stumps because I am tired of looking at them. I know I could just run a path through them, but then I have to delete the path, and this way I can just have all the builders waste their time doing stump grinding duty. Anyway, that is being improved substantially. Hey, well-being's up to 32. Very good. Getting that filled in. I guess in terms of landscaping, really our only options are putting in hedgerows or shrubberies or something like that. And, well, okay, there's also fences, but, you know, these don't really serve that much of a purpose. Hedges are also kind of a fence. So if I were to do, say, hedges, but shrubberies like this, and then hedges next to them. If I just did one of these numbers here, you know, that actually doesn't look too bad. It looks like somebody actually kind of thought about this, huh? Well, yeah, what a concept. But that's got 5 in between, which if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here I can also put a shrubbery at this corner. Now, you know, there's nothing back here anyway. But that doesn't mean we can't place items back there, or we just leave it open. You know, that's also allowed. Or we say, you know, the corner can go here and then this goes straight away. But I do kind of like the idea of having that blank space there. This is hilarious. It's so funny. I don't know why. It just is. Oh, hey, remember when I said I was going to put windmills in, and then I didn't do it, and then all of a sudden we were out of power? Yeah, we actually started last time putting this stuff in, and then I just never, ever got around to finishing that. Yes. Good stuff. Well, those two going in definitely would help. You know, another 300-ish HP when they decide to get around to it. I'm also very happy to report that the maple pastries are full, which means all of our foodstuffs that the beavers are actually eating are at maximum storage, even with 153 beavers. Oh, I forgot to pause these 2 houses. That's why. That's why we have 153 beavers. We also have 16 bots who aren't working, which probably should be addressed. Centrifuge time. Yeah, that'll work there. That gives me a little bit more for somewhere else. How much power are we generating? Oh, so much. Alright, well, time for smelting. That solves that problem. This already has 10 bots in it. Oh, you know what? These lumberjack flags absolutely can get turned into bot parties. And what that means is we are going to have an additional tank for the fuel over here. So, this one that is currently being cut down. Why'd you pause the game? Look, I don't know. At this point, it's like a reflex action. Just because that got cut down first, I will put a small tank for... not that, for fuel. And catalyst, I don't think we've started making yet. In fact, I know we haven't started making it. I was going to put in refineries for that. The refineries to make catalyst have to have extract, which I know we have 1,100 of it. But I figured we were going to go through it a lot quicker. Maple syrup. I got 818. Alright, let's, for the sake of what we're working with here, let's do, just so that looks a little bit nicer, catalyst. Have that set to catalyst as well. And then what I did here is I put in a spatterdock thing. The catalyst recipe takes extract and maple syrup, so I think what's going to make sense here is for us to have this just completely filled in because we can, and then would not be a mistake to have storage for maple syrup and storage for extract just right behind it. Nice and simple. Keep these guys occupied for a little bit of time. And of course these have to be set for bots to work in. 33, very good. Making progress here. Okay. Yeah, now we get to explode. Get that put in. And then I'll have to monitor how that's looking. But I am pretty pleased with how this has turned out. Really good stuff. I am going to, take that off because that's as much as we're going to get out of this without blowing up anything else. And this path here also does not need to be connected. That can easily be removed. And then I can just go ahead and put in the please don't cross the hedge right there. Kind of hide all that stuff behind the scenes. And we'll be in pretty good shape, folks. This is looking like a 3 all day, I think. Yeah. So that will go there, that will go there, and then I'll have these other two. Man, I am just so pleased with this. And if I was really smart, then I would have put in a what do you call it? Yep. The zipline station somewhere up here. Which I guess I can still technically do, but obviously you don't want to get them caught in the thing. Oh, that's nightmare fuel. But that also, yeah, me too, gives us an opportunity to either remove this dance hall and replace it with something else on top of here, or just say, you know what, 3 dance halls is fine. And we also have the detailer and then the herbalist, which again does not help injured beavers heal at all. It is only to make antidote. At this point we probably aren't going to have to worry about it. But the detailer needs to have somewhere to go. And I guess we can figure that out. Maybe next episode we'll see how things are looking. But I can't access these, so I will go ahead and just manually remove that. Get this blown up. We'll put this other Lido in place. And friends, I think that is going to get us just about to the end of this episode. We did technically do something here. Remember, we got a whole lot of bad water rigging occurring here. I guess I could make this bots too. But these guys are starting to do some good work here. I can't believe I hadn't had this set to bots earlier. Kind of embarrassing, honestly. But now that, with the exception of the water dump, is all set for bots, I probably should not be spending a ton of science on it. But that is looking pretty good. I just need to get these 2 dynamites in place. And I know we have them, so that's fine. We're making catalyst. Look at that lovely purple color. And they're doing it without their storage from these big tanks, too. So that's a good thing. This is a little far from these zipline stations. We probably want to put another one in here. Again, that's going to kind of end up connecting to the whole round to the outside thing at some point. We haven't done anything with this area either in a really long time, which we probably should, but I just had so much fun with this nonsense here. It is kind of ugly, isn't it? Just a little bit, huh? But I got those in. That's fine. I know you guys really seem to like the zipline underwater, but I'm not saying we have to not have a zipline underwater, but I do think I want to redo this. Have it be slightly less terrible. Oh, they can't get in here, can they? Yeah, how did that's how that happened. That's how that happened. Okay. Well, I don't think it's going to be too hard for us to solve this problem here. Let's just get this hooked up here, and then they should be able to get most of that. And remember that the only places where I have the dynamite placed are the places I actually want to and can explode. There is a difference, but we're going to let them handle that in due time. This is ready to go. And I can pop in my second Lido, nice and simple. Well-being's up to 34. All right. Looking good, looking good. I like this a whole lot. It's going to be kind of an ugly screenshot for the thumbnail because we have all these zip lines going everywhere. But yeah, look at that. Honestly, not too bad if I can get the transparent water to go away. There we go. That is, yeah. It's something. It sure is something. But yeah, I think, you know, as we approach the end of this drought, it is going to be time for us to say goodbye today. So I really appreciate you guys checking these videos out, giving some really cool suggestions. You know, like I was saying earlier, we can't always do exactly what people suggest, but we can combine ideas and maybe sometimes get some stuff that's better. Or worse, as the case may be. But I think a lot of the fun of playing this game the way I do and doing these videos is because we engage so much with what you guys want to see, and that's always going to be the goal. So I really appreciate your contributions, Beard Boosters as well, with the direct financial support, making it possible for me to, you know, prioritize making videos about the Beaver game to the point of getting the channel to where we've gotten it so far. So I really appreciate you and your support, regardless of if you're not one of those guys. I am very, very glad you're here, and I hope whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, you have a safe and fun time, and we'll see you back again very, very soon for more fun with the Beavers and other games coming soon. I know I've been saying it, but I mean it. We're going to get back into the other stuff. Take care, friends. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.